So I wanted to wrap up by telling you about John Frum, because this was in the documentary. But Werner Herzog, you've watched a few of his shows before.
I've watched
right?
A Man Get Eaten by a Bear and
okay.
Another one. He had
you know how occasionally he just is so interested in like he does like these nature stories, but he kind of gets sidetracked sometimes with these little.
I think I watched his technology one.
Yeah,
too.
lo and behold, yeah. But every now and then he gets sidetracked by his just human interest. And he's so interested in people and finding out about them that you'll be like, why did we just spend 5 minutes doing that in a Werner Herzog movie?
Oh, yeah. So, like, in the bear one, it's all about a guy who goes out into the wild and hugs bears.
Yeah.
And for no reason other than that's what he likes to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, in that film, there's, like, a weird exposition into, like, his uncle, who's just a quirky guy.
Werner Herzog's uncle or this guy's uncle?
The bear
Timothy
hugging.
Treadwell's uncle. Yeah.
The weird
but
bear.
he sees a person and he just gets sidetracked.
It's not part of the story.
Doesn't matter to anything else.
Just his uncle's an interesting guy, too.
That's what happens to Werner Herzog. He sees an interesting person and for some reason goes, I'm going to spend 7 minutes of my fucking documentary just telling it's almost like a mini documentary of this guy's story, right?
Yeah.
So this happened in Into the Inferno. I wish I could remember the name of it, or Into the Volcano, but it's on Netflix. It's a Netflix original. And I hope they do more with Werner because I can't get enough Werner Herzog.
I want a lot more Netflix documentaries.
Yeah, dude, for as
I'm
much
starving.
I get tired. Like, they'll crank out a stand-up special a week. I don't know any of these fucking people. Like, I'll watch the Norm Macdonald one. I'll watch the Sarah Silverman one. But I'm not going to watch fucking random Tom Segura every 3 weeks, you know?
Well, Tom Segura is not so random, but he's not a great stand-up the way the other great ones
But to spend all that money on stand-up when clearly I know there's people like me and you who just consume documentaries like candy.
Yeah. That's all. I'd rather watch any documentary over, like, the next Adam Sandler film. Not saying anything about the modern day Shakespeare.
Well, they could shave $10 million off of one of his budgets though, because they still give him like $60 million budgets. Give Adam Sandler $40 million, okay?
Or just like cancel that one stand-up documentary or show and give me one more documentary. Give me another making a
or just start buying like
anything.
Documentaries are the most for independent filmmakers. They're the most done films because they're easier if you're an independent filmmaker.
They're cranked out.
So just start buying documentaries left and right. PBS does an American Experience, but they did. Netflix just bought the Oklahoma City one and the Ruby Ridge one, but PBS, the American Experience, they have like 50 years of these.
Well, okay, I do have to say, it's hard for me to watch a slideshow documentary. You have to do something more than
you didn't like the Oklahoma City one.
No,
that's right.
Like the story was good, but I lost about halfway through. I just lost it because it's just a slideshow.
Yeah.
Here's a picture of this. Here's a picture of that with a narrator.
Yeah.
You give me something more. The Texas shooting documentary. What was that?
Tower was amazing.
Tower. That was really good.
But that was almost like a film, dude. The way they did that was unreal.
But that's what I'm saying. They spiced it up. They did something different for once with the documentary.
That was like whoever made that, I hope gets wins something, because he had it wasn't just like a documentary, it was like art. It was like watching art. Because the way he put it together,
yeah, he
and you almost
the whole thing.
You see the young people, but then at the end he uses the real camera, so you see the young people become adults, and then you see they're still alive and they're telling this story. It's fucking amazing. Because there was a long period, the first half of that documentary, I thought he was having voice actors do the part of the kid and you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then at the end you see they're the real fucking people, and it was like, blew my fucking mind. And I didn't even know any shit about that guy. I just knew he was the first. I actually wish it had gone a little more, because I'm always interested in the mind of the killer. I wish it had gone a little more into what made the guy start shooting people, because I still don't know.
Instead of the story of it.
Yeah, it was just the story of the day. Essentially, you experienced the story of the day, which was cool. I just wish I knew why this guy started randomly shooting
So back
people.
to Herzog and this.
So he got
volcano.
sidetracked, like we just did. He got sidetracked by John Frum. And John Frum, in this, so there's a volcano in Vanuatu, I think is the name of it, where the first survivor was filmed, was in Vanuatu. So it's this little bitty island with an active volcano on it, like a truly active volcano. And so he goes to the island and he starts talking to the people. It turns out the people every year worship a god named John Frum. John Frum is an American GI who visited them in the 1940s and brought with him goods and food and things like that. And so they, to this day, worship him as a god. It's the classic story of a dude shows up and then all the natives go, the white man is God?
That's happened quite a few times. When planes were flying over some of these Pacific islands, and then later on we discovered the island, people went in there to see what was going on. They had built weird wooden planes as monuments.
They're called cargo cults. This is a whole thing. Cargo cults. Because stuff would arrive, like goods and boxes, and they'd go, this must be God. Which makes sense if you don't know
anything about the modern world,
Makes perfect sense. Whenever I think about how all the ancient cultures had 87 gods, it makes sense to me, because you're just well, that's sun. I will worship the sun that gives me life. That is the plants. I worship the plants that give me life. It makes sense because you're staying alive.
Yeah.
So worship the shit keeps you alive. So they are still worshiping this dude who just randomly showed up. I'm just imagining a dude who got lost, okay? And they just start worshiping
He
him.
probably got shot down in an air battle.
Yeah.
So again, this is where the biblical shit comes from. The gods were fighting in the air, and then one visited us and saved us.
Yes.
And that's John Frum, who got shot down fighting the Nazis or whatever, the Japanese. And
in all the stories, this should make you realize, like, about religion on a grander scale. Like, I went, oh my God, this is a mini scale, but, like, can we extrapolate that out?
Yeah.
Because then not only do they worship the guy that showed up and brought good shit, they worship him. They still say the legend is he's going to return and bring more good shit.
Yeah.
And so every year they have a ceremony the same time
To
for the
pray
guy
for
to
him to
come
come
back and bring the shit. And they worship him and they sing John Frum, John Frum, John Frum, John Frum. And they wave American flags. Like in Vanuatu, they have USA inscribed on their chest. They fly a flag of the United States and a flag of Georgia, where apparently he was from. So they worship the flag of Georgia, probably not even knowing what the fuck.
Georgia the country or
Georgia
the state?
the state. Probably not even know what the fuck the state is, right? But they have the flag. It's the craziest thing I've ever
Instead
seen.
of a cross or something.
It's the state flag of Georgia.
Yeah. But they don't associate it with the United States of America or the state flag or anything.
Well, USA to them is probably heaven. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's probably the heaven, right?
Yeah.
And so,
this is
like,
a symbol of heaven.
yeah. So to me, I go watching this.
Now-
That's fucking every goddamn religion.
I just had the greatest idea ever.
What's that?
We go kidnap one of them. We go out to that island and grab one of them, bring them back to the States, and show them Nirvana, and then we return them and drop them back off. That
They'll
way,
be like the fish that was like, I saw, like, yeah, I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. And they'll tell another story, right?
yeah, he'll come back and go like, I've been to heaven, and I've been back.
Oh, you just got a bug in the beer. So I don't know. I just kept thinking about it because to me, I was arguing afterwards. It always gets me. Again, I'm not an atheist. I'm like an agnostic, meaning I don't fucking know. Okay, and I'm not going to profess to know, and I'm not going to proselytize to anybody about knowing shit. But I am going to say to people who say that they know, because that's where I always get like irritated by people when they claim to know for me. Like they go,
Yeah.
JC, you got to get with the program, motherfucker.
This
You're
is the
missing
truth.
out on the
Everything
truth.
else is wrong.
How do you not see the truth? And I get like, how the fuck do we know what the fuck truth is?
Yeah.
But I go, it's interesting to me. I was in an argument with someone, not an argument, discussion, but I said, isn't it interesting how if you look at every religion, no matter how old it is, there's always like a dude. Like there's one dude that they go, this is the dude, i.e. John Frum, David Koresh, any of them, L. Ron Hubbard. There's always a fucking dude.
Jesus himself.
He's a dude. And then they go,
pretty sure-
he's the guy and he's going to come back and give us
I'm
goodies.
pretty sure there was just a dude walking around in sandals going like, dude, we don't have to kill each other. Let's just all chill
Yeah,
and be
I guarantee
nice.
he was a cool fucking dude. There was a cool
And
fucking
then,
dude.
like a bunch of his friends he met along the way went like, hey, y'all should listen to my friend. Because he was probably a great orator. He was probably very charismatic. And he was just a chill, cool dude.
or who knows? Because David Koresh was neither a great orator or charismatic.
Well, that's a different story. He had a lot of guns and a promise.
Yeah. Now, L. Ron Hubbard, I guarantee you, if you watch The Master, which is the movie kind of made about him with Philip Seymour Hoffman,
The one that got Hoffman
I
killed.
guarantee you there was something about L. Ron Hubbard that exuded like a confidence or an energy or something attracted you to him as a person. You
Yeah,
know?
he's probably very charismatic if you
Yeah.
didn't look at his teeth. And, he could do
In that day and
wonders.
age, we probably all had shitty teeth, though. You know, in the 40s and 50s, we were probably
Talking
all
about
had
the 70s?
No, didn't he start it in the 50s?
Well, when he was 19, I mean, he died in
'Cause it
like
was like-
80-something.
When all that shit caught on Dianetics, that was like post-World War II. So
No, it caught on in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
The same reason Charles Manson was able to get a following is the same reason L. Ron Hubbard had a
But I
foot in the
guarantee you,
door.
I've seen Charles Manson talk. I'm not saying he's a good guy, but I'm saying that he's powerful when he
There's
speaks.
something in his eyes that make you want to listen.
You do want to hear what he
People have that ability.
You
like,
want to
they're
hear what
born
he
with
has to
it.
say. Yeah.
And some people are crazy as fuck. But,
Some people are both have that ability and crazy as fuck.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Some people look at that stare that really brings you in, and then they tell you about why dinosaurs aren't real. Whatever. But like, I'm pretty sure most of these world or religious leaders were those kind of people. They had a foothold, they had a following, and they told a better story than what was being told. And then again, there was probably a lot of self growth, or not growth, but like they had something out of it.
Yeah.
By telling the story that they were telling, they made something better for themselves. It wasn't purely.
Well, again, if we talk about like what we were talking about at the beginning, how like the reason the invisible line works and the social contract works, it's self-preservation.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's always an element of self-preservation involved, or bettering one's life or one situation or whatever.
I mean, yeah.
Having followers is probably cool.
If I'm a dude that's stuck in a situation where I have to like build a pyramid for this other dude, I'm going to tell a story where that dude's not in power. Like, let's just all be chill.
Let's say you get lost in the jungle and your name's John Frum and you're worried cannibals are going to eat you. But then the cannibals say...
C-3PO. Same story.
Instead of eating you, the cannibals think you are their god. You're just going to go like, that's keeping me alive. So now I'm going to just start...
I have 2 notes to wrap up this story.
Yes, go ahead.
A is Star Wars related, because that just led me to the C-3PO. When they show up and the Wookiees, or not the Wookiees, the Ewoks find them.
Yeah.
The Ewoks are going to eat everybody. They have them on a spit roast.
Yeah, the Ewoks are fucking crazy.
Until C-3PO goes like, don't eat my people. We're the gods.
Because they worship C-3PO.
So as much as everybody wants to hug and love on the Ewoks.
Ewoks are a gang of tiny cannibal squirrels.
They're not eating each other, but they were definitely going to eat Han Solo.
They're murderer squirrels. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, as long as we can agree that they are not...
They're vicious, violent, murdering squirrels.
Yes, they are. And very, very innovative. They took, like, where a bunch of people with laser and sky planes and laser swords couldn't do it, a bunch of tiny little squirrel people destroyed the Empire.
This was the Vietnam War. They came at it not with better weaponry, but with like punji sticks and like, hiding in the fucking woods and getting you when you're not looking and shit. The Ewoks are the Vietnamese in the fucking Vietnam War, dude. You didn't see it coming, and you were like, why are we winning? But you weren't winning. So it's the fucking Ewoks, dude.
It's just insane. With all the technology and know-how. Like, it got us through 2 films.
Yeah.
And the only ones that could actually defeat the Empire were the Ewoks.
Ewoks could have taken the whole fucking thing over. And what's the second thing? I'm curious.
I don't know. Now the Ewoks have made me lose track.